I've never seen anything like
That thing had so much arc, it was a punt.
it. It was cold when it came down. I've never seen anything like it.
It had frost on it?
Yes. Like it came down with a little hail. No, I just, okay, so welcome back to the Unrestricted, folks.
Hi.
Vex, Wally, Bob.
Hi there.
Now, wait, why didn't you watch much of the Olympics? That's my big question. Because I watched a ton.
So did
and
I.
I thought the way it was formatted, where if you woke up really early, you could see a whole bunch, or
And
if you
live.
live, or you could wait until the end of the day and watch it in prime time, or for me, like as I'm putting the kids to bed, I mean, I was watching it till 11 o'clock midnight, every single night. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that it was European, I thought helped its American viewership.
It
more
never
than it hurt
does. It never does.
But it did.
For some reason it did. And that was my question. Why did people watch? What was so compelling? Obviously you had Simone Biles was compelling. And I'm not talking about the sports fan here. I'm just talking about the
Casual.
yeah, because when you get ratings like this is
This is
the-
grandmas and aunts. And,
this is the females that are tuning in. So what was it about the Olympics that brought them to the table? Simone Biles, I don't know.
The last two Olympics were duds.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, they didn't showcase the cities all that well. I mean, the visuals from this Olympics were compelling.
Stunning.
I mean, you're playing beach volleyball in the shadow of the Eiffel. You're fencing in a palace.
Yeah.
It's just the visuals were amazing. They knocked that part out of the park. I think they only had one misstep on the staging of the games, and that was the little bit of the controversy in the opening ceremony. But other than
I
that,
was happy about that.
They knocked this out of the park.
Yes. Didn't bother me.
Oh my goodness. This may be the first Olympics that I can remember that the city in which it was held may benefit long term. Because people got a shot of Paris, and I really wanted to tune in with that too, just to see what Paris was like. Because I got intrigued by watching Emily in Paris, that show on Netflix.
And Paris is Paris the most famous city in the world?
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that it is. Like,
No, New York is.
I don't know. I think that's kind of American centric, but
Just a little bit.
But either way, I don't want
Shut up,
to. I don't
you.
want to parse this out whether it's London, Paris, or New York. But it's probably one of those three, and I would say it's Paris. So it's the most famous city in the world. It's the most iconic city in the world. It has the most iconic visuals, and I think it lent itself to being great on TV. And then, to your point, Walter, for the American audience, I don't think we've ever had this kind of lineup of stars, like casual fan stars in so many different sports as we had this time. You mentioned Simone Biles, but Ledecky was a big deal. LeBron James, a very big deal.
Yeah, but everybody hates him, and everybody hated Team USA. There was a lot of Americans were rooting for Team USA to lose.
I have no idea who you're talking about. Nobody I know was rooting that way. And let's transition.
Well, let's talk about who you know. I'm just kidding. That's true.
Let's transition into that real quick, though. How awesome was that basketball tournament? I would argue,
Very good.
I would argue to you that's one of the great basketball tournaments I've ever watched in my whole life. It was the best Olympic tournament I've ever watched. There's no question about that. I mean, not just the American stuff, but like if you watched the Japan game where they took France to overtime, France probably shouldn't have even been in the finals because Japan should have fucking beaten them. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a
point with the foul.
4-point play.
Stupid
Which is
foul.
stupid foul.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there was the Germany game. There were so many great games.
And the United States comeback against Serbia was epic.
Absolutely.
That was
One of
to
the-
watch the superstars of this league play, sweat, and do everything as hard as they possibly could, and to see them do it defensively. I mean, Steph Curry, we didn't think he knew how to spell defense, let alone play it. And there he is, right there, playing as hard as anybody could possibly play.
And the
Totally
joy.
cool.
And the joy in which they played.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch enough NBA and enough NBA championships to see, do they exhibit that type of joy? It felt to me like a different type of joy they had playing this game.
Absolutely. To watch a huddle and to realize that there's not a dude in that huddle worth less than $250 million, we'll just say, right? But on the sideline, when LeBron James gets an and one, there's 8 guys on the sideline that go bananas, and they start doing the LeBron flex,
Right.
and they're goofing on the sideline. They're having an absolute blast. They look like kids.
And credit where credit is due. Those NBA players were staying in 5-star hotels out of the Olympic Village, but they went to the Olympic Village. They spent time with the other athletes. Anthony Edwards with the table tennis team.
Yeah.
LeBron for the women's team.
I just cannot begin
amazing.
to tell. I can't put to words how cool it was for me to watch the three preeminent players of our lifetime in America, Durant, LeBron, and Curry, come together and refuse to fucking lose in 2 consecutive games in the medal round, and to really do it. And credit to the other guys too, but it was really those 3 guys. And like, I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but LeBron James tournament at 40 years old, 39, I think, was so good. He almost pitched 2 perfect games in a row from a basketball perspective in my eyes. And he cemented himself, to me, Walt, and this is that thing that we've always talked about with LeBron. Like, is he Magic Johnson? Is he Michael Jordan? Who is he? Is he Karl Malone? He's some amalgamation of the 3 guys.
Big word.
And in this tournament, he got to be the thing that we always wondered. How good would LeBron be if all he had to do was be Magic Johnson? And that's what he was. He was a setup man. He's the world's greatest setup man in history. And then you had Curry. What if
obviously the best shooter we've ever seen?
Yeah, and he got to do this role that he never gets to do anywhere else. What if Curry doesn't have to actually handle the ball? What if he just has to be the greatest run off of picks, curl and shoot shooter in the history of the world? Well, you saw. It's fucking unbelievable. And what if Durant only has to be the world's greatest spot up shooter? And those 3 guys in those roles, they are perfection. It was so cool to watch them play.
And they were all able to figure it out by being thrown together for 3 weeks, which the United States hadn't done well before. Go back to the Greg Popovich 2004 Olympics, where they were just, that was just awful.
Iverson and Duncan.
Yeah, and and that was so bad that Tim Duncan soured on the Olympics for the rest of his life in the NBA. And that group was just thrown together. This group was just thrown together, and for them to come away with the gold medal in a game really that was in their control the entire way until halfway through the 4th quarter, when they decided, hey, you know what? Let's give France an opportunity to win this game and take the gold medal away from us. And they nearly got it stolen from them.
They did. And Curry, if not for some absolute heroics,
magic,
Curry saves America.
Yeah.
Like, it was that cool. And
the way
I mean, he did.
The way Durant did in the previous Olympics.
Exactly. Or in the previous game. Right?
And the previous Olympics.
Yeah. And then Kobe Bryant back in like 2012, right?
Yeah.
In that same fashion where you look to the veteran guys, they look to Curry down the stretch. I think it's cool because, we went this whole tournament without Curry. I mean, frankly, he had a bad tournament until the last 2 rounds where he finally had his Steph moments. And we've all tuned into those games late at night on the West Coast where Curry's just going ape shit, right? He's making every shot. And we'd never had a Curry heat check moment, and it happened at just the right time. I think that is so cool and so special to have that happen when it did. Like, it boggles the mind to do it. And let's talk about Curry. I think it's the greatest moment of his professional career. He's won championships before, but he has never had a final minute where he hit the Michael Jordan over Byron Russell shot, the Jordan over Elo shot.
On this stage.
Not on this stage, right? Like, not in the NBA Finals. He's never done that.
A million times in games, but not on this
regular
not this
season.
magnitude.
Regular season, but not in the finals,
Well.
not in the Western Conference Finals, nothing like that. I think it cemented something special for Steph Curry, and I'm really glad, because that's been a knock on him but he can't do it in the last seconds. Like, that's been a knock on him, and he did it. He came through.
Well, you saw with Curry and with their reaction to winning the gold medal how important it is to these, almost billionaires to get the job done and win the gold medal. Because people always say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. NBA championship is where." No, it's not. The NBA championship takes a second. It takes the back seat to a gold medal at the Olympics because you're representing the entire country. There was so much pressure on these guys to get the job done, more so than any NBA finals. So when people say, about Pop, and I'm sure Pop loves the gold medal more than any Larry O'Brien trophy he's ever received.
I bet he does.
And would trade them all for another one.
Yeah.
I mean, who was the sprinter? It was an American sprinter that was like throwing some shade at the NBA, going, NBA World Championships? That's not the world. That's
true.
like America.
That's true.
I'm the world,
That's
dude.
true. And
That's
I forget that
that's
sprinter's
wrong.
name,
Yeah,
but
that's
he's absolutely
No,
right.
he's not.
The NBA championship is not the world championship.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's more now than it ever used to be. I'll grant you that. But like for a long history in the NBA, they called it the World Championship, and like it wasn't, because it wasn't an international league. Now it's much more an international league.
I totally 100% disagree. And here's why. You give me any one of those Spurs championship teams, you give me the Lakers, you give me Golden State, any one of those teams would destroy these international teams today, yesterday, or 10 years ago. Because here's the thing.
I don't know, bro.
Here's the thing. We're winning. How many gold medals have we won now? 5 in a row?
Yeah.
5 gold medals in a row. It probably should have been 10 by now. But those teams are thrown together. This team was thrown together and still, for the most part, won by double digits in the finals games.
But every member of that men's team was, had played in the NBA finals, was an all-star, had MVPs.
But they were thrown together.
I don't care if they were thrown together.
What do you mean you don't care?
The other teams are thrown together.
No, they're not. Those guys have been playing together for 100 years. All of them.
I follow you that the team building, the team chemistry that surrounds a franchise like the Lakers or the Spurs in a championship year would make up for the talent gap that they might have. I've certainly follow you there. But if you remove, let's just say, Boris Diaw, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili from the San Antonio Spurs, like they're not the San Antonio Spurs anymore.
That's a whole different argument then.
All right.
And you're taking players.
Okay.
Wait a minute, you're taking players away from my team. How does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
All right, we'll use the Golden State Warriors. Going to take anybody off of that team? Any other international? All right, let's move on.
Probably
Let's
not.
move on.
Let me ask you this real
the
quick.
silliest argument ever.
Here's a silly argument that I keep fucking hearing on the radio.
Ooh,
LeBron,
first F word of the day.
I don't know if it was my first. Let me give another one. LeBron shouldn't have been the fucking MVP. I keep hearing that. Why not? I mean, I realize Curry ended with a bang, but he was unquestionably America's most consistent and best player throughout this tournament. He was also their leader. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how good I thought LeBron James was in this tournament.
Because all of the idiots out in the world have recency bias, and they only look at the last game, and they don't look at the 5 games before that.
Yeah, I think
that's
you're right.
the reason why. Yeah. And Walter came in here all hot and mad that Wemby shouldn't have been part of the top 5 All-Stars from this tournament, and he's wrong.
No, he's not. He's absolutely right on. What
Walter
game
talking about himself in the third person.
What game until the last one did he have a huge impact? He had an overtime period. Other than that, that was it.
No, you're right. He did not have a great tournament.
He did not belong in the
first team all tournament.
Absolutely. You agree?
Yeah, I can see your point.
All right, how about that,
I certainly
Bob?
can.
I don't know, 15.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1.7 blocks per game.
Does sound pretty good.
In a 40-minute game.
Does sound pretty good
Bob
when you
knows
say it
how
like
to
that.
read.
Look, he did not have
I watched the games. He was not in most of those games. He had 0 to no impact.
He was not a great player throughout
That's
this
how bad
tournament.
it was.
He wasn't, but he sure as hell was good in those finals. Like, let's give some credit to our guy. Like, he stepped up when it mattered. And look, you listen to everybody who knows, they say he's coming. Like, and I this is probably a good chance to start looking forward to 28, right?
What's the best part of his game? We've seen enough of Wemby's.
Defense.
It is?
Unquestionably.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
Oh, well, you're wrong then. It's defense.
No.
Yes,
I don't
you're
think
wrong.
so.
It's defense.
I know there's two two NBA plays that are run constantly in the league that he gets beaten on. A pick and roll, you can clearly beat him to the basket. That's one. And you could bully him to the basket. That's two.
Okay. He's still the best defensive player in the world.
And if you guys
yes, he is.
Have you guys seen that shot of Curry shooting over Wemby?
So
where he that ball practically hit the rafters.
So I have to tell you,
I've
I've watched
the same photographer who took the Kamala Harris picture of the crowd in the airplane. That's the guy that took the picture of the Curry shot.
I don't get the joke, but I have to tell you, as a
follow.
basketball geek and aficionado my whole life, I have never, ever seen a player at any level catch and release a ball quicker than that and make the shot. Ever. I want somebody to put a fucking stopwatch to it because I've never seen anything like it. And he knew Wemby was going to come out to the corner to challenge it. And so he had to get it out of his hands fast and he had to put it up high. I've never seen anything like it.
That thing had so much arc, it was a punt.
It was cold when it came down. Okay. It was, I've never seen anything like it.
It had frost on it?
Yes. Like it came down with a little hail. No, I just, okay, so let's play this forward to 28 because I think this is important. Wemby's going to be the best player on the planet in 28. I don't think there's any question about it. The United States, maybe for the first time, is not going to have the greatest player in the world on their team, right? That's a crazy thing to think,
I don't
but
know
it's
if I
going to
agree
happen.
with that.
Well, it may not be the first time because maybe LeBron isn't the greatest player on the planet currently.
No, I don't agree with that. Wemby's going to be the best player on the planet in 28.
Well, once again, you're wrong because he
How
will
could
be.
you say I'm wrong?
You
How
are
is that
just wrong.
possible?
I'm sorry.
What are you
you're wrong.
talking about?
How is it possible for Walter to be wrong?
Anthony Edwards can't be the best player on the planet in 28?
He could be, but I.
Oh, he could be.
He
Well,
could
there
be.
you go. Then what are you yelling at me for? What are you out of your mind?
He could be, but I
You
think
ju- you just flip flops like a flounder in a pan.
I think the odds are it's going to be Wemby,
Here we
bro.
go. Back up.
It's going to be Wemby.
Keep going.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You're gonna hit the wall when you back it up that
so
hard.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Jesus Christ.
So obviously, I think Durant's going to be too old. He'll be gone. Obviously, Curry will be 39, I believe, at that point. So he's too old. LeBron, too old. Anthony Davis will be 35.
Yeah.
He's probably not coming back. So you talk about this 28 team.
Those
and then
eyebrows,
you-
he'll be able to comb them over by that time.
yeah, I will. You think about who's going to be on that team, and it's pretty interesting, Walter, when you kind of break it down. Okay, Anthony Edwards,
On a team.
Well, unless he switches to table tennis.
Jason Tatum, if he wants to be,
Okay.
Jaylen Brown, if he wants to be.
Okay.
Although those two guys, they've not had good Olympic experiences so far. Jaylen Brown not even making the team, so I don't think you can circle them. Devin Booker, Paulo Banchero.
Okay.
Kawhi will be 36, so I think
No.
you can cross him off.
I would. Kawhi Leonard should never be invited to another Olympic thing again.
I'm with
And
you.
I'm sure he's probably happy with that.
No,
anyway.
I mean your point is exactly right. And I said it before this tournament, given what France has coming into the NBA, I'm putting my money on a 4-year future that France wins the gold in 28.
I think that's a very safe bet, honestly. All right, let me continue. Halliburton,
Okay.
Fox, De'Aaron
Okay.
Fox, probably.
Okay.
Maybe Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
Maybe Trey Young. Maybe Ja Morant, I would think, right?
Maybe.
Ja's got to be on there. Bam will be 31.
My Knicks point guard on that list?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I'm getting there. Bam will be 31. Jarrett Allen will be 30.
Yeah.
Chet.
Maybe.
Jaren Jackson will be 28. Zion, maybe.
It depends on if there's good food wherever the Olympics are in 28. Where's 28 in Los Angeles? No. Yeah,
LA.
in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Then
Good food there.
I'll just throw a couple fast. Hero, Brunson, Cade Cunningham, LaMelo, Garland, Mitchell. Kyrie will be 36.
Yeah.
I don't think you can count on him. But as I'm going through these names, put these guys together and imagine that team. That is not an immovable force or an
there's no
irresistible object or whatever.
Anthony Edwards is a superstar. That's a sketchy group. I would give you that. And here's the thing, I think you're asking, they were asking players to give up at least 2 summers to be part of this Olympic deal. That's a lot to ask of these players now,
It is.
and you're not going to get them. You're not going to get that out of them moving forward.
It's hard to believe that
Yeah.
they would, right? Let me do the bigs again, because this is a big fucking problem. Big problem. You're going against Victor, right?
Yeah, but you can't guard him with a big
You know,
because he's still going to shoot over you.
you still got to have bigs on your fucking floor. Bam, Jared Allen, Chet, Triple J. I put Jalen Duren on this list. Those are the best American bigs. That's it. And by the way, I'm sure Cooper Flagg will be on that team. AJ Dembasta will be on that team.
Sure.
But that we don't have any. We don't have any bigs. We don't have any fucking bigs.
Yeah. Well,
There'll
that's
be some. It's 4 years from now.
that's a story for 4 years from now when I got to leave him.
Okay.
All right, let's roll it.
All right, keep
so
it
there's your Olympics for you. Good
By
with
the
that?
way, as likable as the USA men's basketball team was, they were totally lovable to me.
Yeah.
I detested and had no love for the USA women's team. Like watching them almost lose to France, I got a little schadenfreude. Like they've never won an Olympic gold medal game by less than 24 points until last week. And what France played great basketball.
This is only the
women
third
did.
game in the last gajillion years that they've won by less than 10.
Exactly.
Any game.
Yes. Yes. So
yeah.
I don't know. They were not a very likable group. I'm just going to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay, who cares?
Bring Caitlin Clark.
Okay, he doesn't
Who cares?
care.
It's women's
Ladies and
bas-
gentlemen,
it's
Walter
women's-
doesn't care.
It's women's basketball. Who gives a rat's ass? I don't
All right.
care.
All right, Walt. He's running out of time.
All right, we'll go. You want to go through this real quick?
Yeah, do
All
it.
right. Cowboys preseason, the new kickoff rules. Too early for me to tell whether this is going to be a big deal or not. Maybe most people don't even know what the hell happens.
It's going to take 3 to 4 weeks of regular season play for the coaches to understand how to exploit it, and then I think it's going to be interesting.
Okay, we'll see. Trey Lance, it was his game this past weekend. The Cowboys, because you were looking for something out of the running backs with the Cowboys because they don't have any, and you didn't get any evidence that they have any because they never played. This was the Trey Lance game. I think the Cowboys were really trying to figure out exactly what they have in this guy. Can it be part of their future? And from what I saw, I think he could be. I think he could be part of their future. He's got a strong arm. He can make all the throws.
There's no reason he can't be the successor to Dak Prescott. I haven't seen a reason yet
Well,
that
he
shows
couldn't.
me.
He couldn't get in the end zone, so
That's
that,
all right.
that could be a problem.
It's all right. He's a kid. I mean, look, it takes
Yeah.
time to get good.
So we'll see.
But I got to tell you, the Cowboys are in trouble. If they can't run the football, they are in trouble.
We'll see.
Okay, continue. Oh, by the way, how dumb are your fucking Jets? Are they the dumbest team? Are they the dumbest franchise
Are we talking
in
about
all of
Hassan
sports?
Reddick?
Yes. You did a sign and trade
Well-
and forgot to do the sign.
No.
Yes,
no,
you did.
No.
Yes,
didn't-
you did.
No, here's the problem with Texans talking about the Jets. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. and you see this constantly. It just irritates me to the point where I don't give a shit anymore. First of all, the Jets had an agreement, a vocal agreement with Hassan Reddick that he was not going to get signed, that he was going to come here and play. Well, he decided to renege on that deal, and now he's asking to be traded again from the second team. So,
It's so
fuck
Jets.
Hassan Reddick.
It's so Jets.
They don't need him.
It's so Jets.
So Jets.
It is so
What have
Jets.
the Cowboys done? Nothing.
I
You
don't
know who's been to more championship games in the last 25 years? The Jets or the Cowboys? The Jets.
Oh my god.
Moving on.
It is so-
Some radio news. Congrats to the great Charlie Parker, one of the newest members of the Texas Radio Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's cool.
2 Charlie stories. One, when Charlie was the host of the morning show on WOAI, Charlie would numerously embarrass me on the air because he would ask me questions I wasn't prepared to answer. And he embarrassed me a couple of times to the point where I needed to figure out. I said, how the fuck am I going to fix this? I can't, he's asking me questions. I don't have the answer because I wasn't expecting them. So I was smarter than a lot of people are. I went to Charlie and said, hey, Charlie, what do we want to talk about in this next segment? And Charlie told me straight out, hey, let's do this and let's do that. Because he wanted to have a great show, and so did I. And so that's why I went to Charlie and found out exactly what he wanted to talk about.
Oh, show
And it
prep?
was- Well, it wasn't show prep.
Wow,
It
what
was
an
just, it was being prepared. It was recognizing
It was
the
being
situa-
prepared.
It's not being prepared. It's recognizing the situation and going to Charlie before each sports segment to find out what he was going to ask me. It was it was genius on my part.
I love Charlie. Oh, genius on your part.
Well, I mean, there's people over there in that studio that still don't know what he's going to ask them.
You're right.
And so
Charlie, one of the coolest guys in radio.
Yep.
I love that dude. I considered him a major mentor of mine. Watching him prepare for a show, Walter, to your point, was really something that impressed upon me.
I never saw him prepare for any show.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing he did it at home because he came in.
No, he had a desk right by the newsroom, so I got to see him a lot. And he's a prepared man.
Semper Paratus.
The other story I'll tell you about Charlie was just before my kids were born, the twins were born. My wife picked up preeclampsia, which is a deadly. I think it's a blood. If I remember right, it's a blood thing for pregnant women.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we had the kids came out 2 months or whatever it was, premature and all that kind of stuff. And Charlie somehow got his way into my wife's hospital room with books she could read and stuff like that, and came in and said hello and wanted to check on her and stuff like that, and gave her a bunch of books. And so when the doctor came in and checked on us and told us about the preeclampsia after the kids were born, he says, and oh, by the way, make sure Charlie Parker is not back in this room. This is a serious situation. He is not allowed to be here. So somehow, some way, they found out about Charlie being in the room. But those are two great stories about Charlie.
I got one, and it's a funny one. So we're doing Spurs pregame. I think it was me, Chris Duell, and Charlie Parker, and I think it was a Mavericks series. And we were talking about the previous game, and I said, I think the Mavericks shot their wad.
Okay.
Duell cuts to commercial immediately. And we turn the mics off, and Parker goes, "You can't say shot your wad on the radio?" I said, "You can't? I think it's a shotgun expression. Isn't it like from, rifle?"
So.
Well, I mean, muzzle loading guns. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Jeff lives in the 1800s anyway, so I could see that.
Shot their wad.
So those are the good sides of radio.
Dates back to the Civil War era.
Here's the bad side of the radio industry, and this is more evidence that it absolutely sucks. The great Jamie Martin from KJ got laid off on, I believe it was probably on Friday, by the evil empire, a.k.a. iHeartRadio. And then there's this one, Odyssey, which is another one of the big radio giants in this country. They own the greatest sports radio in the country at WFAN in New York City. They leased their signal to their 880 AM signal station to ESPN New York Radio, which then ends a nearly 60-year run for WCBS AM in New York City, the second leading news station in New York City. This will mean that news people will get their pink slips, PDs, all the people associated with that radio station will all be out of a job.
I got news for you, kids. If you want to be in radio, don't.
I agree. It's a terrible industry.
It really is.
Let me give you one more quick one because I know Bob's got to get the hell out of here. Two new things. First of all, new show on Saturdays on my Facebook page, Saturday Morning Chats with Wally. We have nearly 700 plays from this past Saturday's show. It starts around 9:15. It just came to me on last Saturday, and so
what are you guys going to talk about?
Everything.
Okay.
Well, that's
no
specific.
politics, just sports. This one came to mind this week. I've always been a frequenter of Port Aransas.
Yeah, me too.
It's
I
a dump.
practically grew up there.
It's a dump. We all know it's a dump.
Yeah, it's an
It's
armpit.
dirty
Port armpit.
because people are, for the most part, disrespectful to wherever they live, and they just litter, and it's disgusting.
It is.
But it's the beach, and I love the beach. But I found out this week that Fiesta, Texas may be better than Port Aransas. First of all, excuse me, there's no drive time. You can eat in your car. It's $600 for the year for a season's pass to Fiesta, Texas. That's a little bit pricey, but nevertheless, you could just buy a day pass. You can eat dinner at home. You don't have to pack the car with towels, blankets, chairs, and all that kind of crap.
No sand.
Well, if you like the beach, that doesn't matter to you. But they have everything there for you. What they don't have at Fiesta, Texas, and I sent this on social media to them the other day.
The Gulf of
beach?
Mexico.
There needs to be a sun lotion station, and I mean,
That's
anybody,
a great idea. Actually.
anybody could sponsor it. They need to have those like they have the sanitizer.
Yeah.
You know, just press it, just so you can put it on your arms, your face, and all that kind of. Because you're out in the sun, and for the most part, you got no shirt on. So, I'd like to see that improvement to Fiesta, Texas.
I'd like to see less people
Schlitterbahn
with no shirts.
is next,
Schlitterbahn's awesome.
because I'm told Schlitterbahn is better than, and I'm sure it is, because
It
you know
is.
Fiesta, Texas isn't quote unquote a water park, but Schlitterbahn is. But it's a little bit further. But apparently it's even less expensive. So that
Yeah.
might be
Schlitterbahn's amazing. You haven't taken the Twinkies there?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you got to do
But
it.
6 hours in the car for Port Aransas, because we take day trips to Port Aransas on a Saturday.
Mhm.
So get in the car 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever, and get down there by 11 o'clock. Stay till 2:30, and come home
Mm-hmm.
on the same day. That's a lot of driving for me. That's 6 hours.
Yes, it is. Port Aransas is not the same as it used to be. I grew up loving Port Aransas. My mom's a Corpus girl. My dad's family has had a house in Port Aransas for like 80 years, which is, before there were really even a lot of people there.
I'm sure there's some
I love-
spots that are really, really nice.
Not anymore.
But the beach is
Not the
crap.
way-
It's dirty. They don't take care of it down there the
Yeah.
way they should.
It's really lost its charm. It's very unfortunate.
And listen, the restaurants are, you're going to pay whatever.
There's some
not
good
any more,
restaurants.
They're not any more expensive than going to, I don't know.
The Riverwalk.
Name a restaurant in Corpus Christi. They're all the same price. You got a family of four, you're going to end up paying $125 to $150 for dinner, no matter where you go.
Yep.
But the beaches are just dirty. They're dirty. The bathrooms are disgusting, and there's no, they don't have any snack bars or anything on the beach in Port Aransas.
Drawing this all to a close, I want to circle back to the Olympics and say that
Shoot me.
one of the
Sorry, what'd you say?
one of the things that I got maybe the most joy out of was watching track and field, particularly the women's. Watching the American women dominate the track
Yeah, because
was
the men didn't.
so special. Well, the men did quite well. They did quite well.
They just can't pass a baton.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
They taught us that in junior high.
They haven't passed the baton well in the Olympics in I don't
20
know.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I loved watching the women on the track and their bodies. Holy shit. Did y'all see the heptathlete from America? I think her last name's Hall.
Was she the one with the big penis that got caught on the pole?
Oh my God.
See you next week on the Unrestricted.
That's it?
Yeah.
How y'all feel out there? Do you feel good? I said, do you feel good? Come on. The groove feel good when it make you move. Make your next move your best move. I said the groove feel good when it make you move. Make your next move your best move. It feel good, don't it? It feel good. It feel good cause you know it's good.